Hello everybody, my name is Christian, and today I am so happy to say that we have hit 10,000 subscribers. So I asked in my Discord what we kind of wanted to do for 10,000 subscribers, and a Q&A was very heavily liked. I think the vote was like 30-1 maybe. I don't know why I ask stupid questions, I'm gonna be honest. So that's what we're here to do today. I have had Bubble compile a list of 25 questions from the viewers. We had probably like 60 submissions overall, so I really do appreciate it. I also very much appreciate you all getting me to 10,000. It genuinely means the world to me. And yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. So, the very first question of the day is, are you a furry? What the f***? Okay, so no, that's actually not on the list of questions Bubbles provided, but you know, too many people ask that, what the fuck? Alright, so, the very first question of today is, what's the most memorable moment while streaming or recording a video? Oh, that's hard. The videos I make nowadays are very scripted, or it's just all me yapping, so I don't get many, like, iconic moments like I used to. From the old days, though, when I was making a bit more silly stuff, I'm gonna have to think about this real quick. Hold on, do a jump cut. So I can't think of anything for recording a video. I've had plenty of good video moments, obviously, like that goes without saying. I think one of the funniest things that's ever stood out to me was during one of our earliest community nights, we were playing Jackbox, and just without warning, the chat kind of went off the deep end and just put an answer of just like me and Fugue romantically, and it was the most out of left field thing possible. I was not expecting it whatsoever. It just made me die laughing, and then that turned into the bit for the day. It was terrifying. Like, people know how much I love Fugue as a character, or just love Ting Yun in general. And, oh boy. Yeah, Quiplash goes a little crazy when that is left unchecked, my lord. Besides that, in terms of other just notable video moments, from very early on, I think the Overcooked videos I made with my friends were definitely some of my favorites, where we just had a lot of funny times and a lot of laughs. Those were really good. And then, in terms of specifically Star Rail stuff, you know what? It's funny to say that it's probably been the cover songs. I think the cover songs have been some of the funniest things I've ever done. Those really stand out in my memory, and that's concerning to me. Next up, what inspired you to make videos in the first place? How did you push through any obstacles while making videos, if you faced any at all? Okay, so actually, we're gonna come back to this one. I think I want to do this one last. Do you plan to cover any other games outside of HSR? Right now, probably not, admittedly. I really wanted to do more ZZZ content. I'm kind of sad that I kind of just let that fall by the wayside, because I do actually quite like the game. But making content of a gacha game is so goddamn time consuming. Like, you can play multiple gacha games and kind of be fine, I feel like. But I'm spending so much time coming up with ideas, implementing them, making them on just Star Rail, while also making sure that I'm up to date with Star Rail, so that I can make the best content possible. Oh my god, it is so much harder than I thought it would be. I think again, perfect world, I think ZZZ would be fun. And then, if we're doing completely outside of Gacha, would love to do, like, more Fire Emblem stuff. But if you guys think I'm bad with HSR knowledge, I'm even worse overall at Fire Emblem. I just play the games a lot. That's all I do. I just really love playing the games. So that would definitely be a struggle. If any other interesting gachas come out, I would, like, fully welcome trying to get into that a little bit, but there's nothing else that's really calling to me for right now. As you've grown, you've commented on how the community has grown more and more negative. How do you find the strength to keep pressing forward in the face of so much growing negativity in your comment sections? I get paid for people to bitch at me. Honestly, it's really not that bad. Okay, genuinely, I already made the whole video about this. I would appreciate if people stopped telling me to off myself for getting one piece of information wrong, or for saying one piece of information that they don't like. I would really appreciate if we stopped doing that, but either way, it's really not that bad when you really take a minute to consider that there are so many other good people around that you can still talk to and enjoy the game with. And that's what I kind of love about seeing people in my Discord, is that I know a lot of people are there because they want to talk about the game. They want to enjoy the community of the game without having to deal with a bunch of absolute morons online. And you know what? That's great, and that makes me happy. Okay, so this must have been was this a new or a very old question? Because I actually don't remember seeing this while I was reviewing these. How did you meet your friends you do videos with the most? Okay, so for reference, for all of you on the YouTube side specifically, the most that you see nowadays is when I do videos with Emmy. That is the most that you see. However, if you've been around for a while, or if you're a consistent, stream viewer, you know that in a lot of my streams, I have Shy on, I have Piper on, I have Ollie on, and then for my variety streams for Fire Emblem Fridays, I have a bunch of people on, because I like to mix it up purposely. You know, funnily enough, almost everyone that appears in my streams, they are all people that either A, I met through school, or I met online, and it's primarily online. Like Shy and Piper, those two met online completely. Because before I started doing all this YouTube stuff, and even a little bit before that, I did not have a single online friend. I had 0 online friends before my sophomore year of college. I only talked to people in person, I only had friends in person, I had no online friends. And to go from that to having a lot of online friends, and to the point where there are many that I have met in person, is kind of crazy. It is genuinely insane. Anyway, just to get a long story short, basically the way I met most people that I know nowadays is through other Discord servers. Specifically, Ghosty, another one of my friends who I do actually know in person, and I've known for many, many years. I was in Ghosty's Discord server, and they would constantly stream Minecraft, so they were in a lot of Minecraft kind of communities, and got into SMPs and all that. And I was fortunate enough to know Ghosty, so I got to kind of hang out with these people a little bit. And then from there, I purposely went out of my way to try and create friendships with them, because I thought they were good people. I liked talking to them in the kind of big group events we would do, and I thought it would be fun to try and, kind of reach my horizons a little bit, kind of expand. So really, I just got very, very lucky, and it's crazy to just say that, but yeah, no, a lot of my friendships right now are completely based on luck. Oh, I realized Bubble labeled these. Thank you, Bubble. Alright, so this one is just a section of completely HSR questions. And is this all the way to the end? What the hell? Oh no, okay, there's a line. Alright, cool. Why do you like Fugue so much? She's a hot fox woman. That's literally... what do you want from me? Okay, so genuinely, Ting Yun / Fugue was my favorite character before I ever even played this game. Just because I thought she was hot, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I like the character for that reason, but also because I just think the character is super interesting, super well written, with also just such a fucking tragic backstory, genuinely. That cutscene during the Law Fu was unbelievable, in my opinion. Oh my god. I was just so surprised. I really was just, taken aback by what I had seen, what was going on. And then ultimately, when we got to the story of Fugue and how that resolved, just wow. Genuinely wow. The aesthetic, the design, the voice, the story, everything about the character just comes together so perfectly for me to just love them so, so, so much. And that may not be the best explanation, but that is just genuinely how it feels. You just feel kind of a connection to a character, and they end up becoming someone you really, really like. Next up here, HSR has had highs and lows, but it's still one of my favorite gachas. What keeps you so interested and passionate about it, as well as, do you plan to stick with it for the long haul? I did not think when I played this game for my channel, 2 years ago because of a Smash Bros. Challenge that I lost, that I would end up enjoying it so, so much. I was really surprised by that. It's hard to say what keeps me so passionate about it, but it is genuinely a very fun game to play. Don't listen to the bitch in your ear telling you it's bad. It is a relatively fun game to play. I love the story. The voice acting is phenomenal, and I love good voice acting, and I've seen so many actors that I personally love and support in this game, so that makes me very happy. So, you know, that's kind of another motivating factor, is just like, oh man, I get to hear more of their work. That's awesome. Really, even if I wasn't doing this content for it, I think I would still be playing it pretty regularly, just because I love the character designs, especially. The character designs in this game are some of my favorite in a lot of the media that I've experienced, and they're so different from what I knew beforehand. It is just such a beautiful mix of stuff that I've never seen before, as well as such cool traits, like a lot of the somewhat half-human sort of features, like the ears and the tails, and then the different kind of cultural blends, like how Amphorius has a lot of inspirations from, like, ancient Greece and all that. It's something that I've personally just never seen in a lot of the things I've experienced, and it is so cool to me to see all of this stuff presented so beautifully in this game. Yeah, it's hard to say, like, what else would really contribute to that, besides just I really like the game, and I really like doing this as work, so there we go. But I think that's the best explanation I can give. As for sticking with it for the long haul, yeah, probably. I can't see a world where I'm gonna stop anytime soon, at least. Next question here is, do you pull characters based off lore, meta, or waifu/husbando? Okay, so more often than not, I will pick a character just because I like their design. Interestingly enough, the characters that I have pulled specifically for meta/account reasons has been Robin and Ling Sha. I wanted Robin specifically for my follow-up team, and I wanted Ling Sha specifically for my break team. I like the characters. I want to clarify that. I like the characters beforehand, but I figured I could live without them. Those are two characters that I pulled specifically for meta, and then in the early days when I first started playing, I pulled Xila for meta. Outside of that, just about every other character I have has been gotten either on accident, which is like 2 people, by the way, or it's just because I like their design. I don't really care about lore, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge lore person. Like, I'll appreciate it if it's kind of brought to my attention, but otherwise, I'm just pulling because I like the character or I think they can do cool stuff. What character do you love playing the most? It is Aglaia. It's Aglaia for sure right now. That is by far one of my favorite teams I've ever played with, and it is one of the biggest pains in the ass to play probably in the game. And I don't care, I just love it so much. Aglaia has one of the most unique playstyles I've ever seen, and genuinely, I just cannot believe how good that team is when you properly invest in it. Because I have E1S1 Aglaia, E0S1 Sunday, and if I could get E1S1 Sunday, I know it would be drugs. I have E0S0 Robin, and I want to look into getting her cone, but right now I have an S2 Brawny cone on her. And then I'm running them with RMC right now to try and get 0 cycles. It is genuinely one of the most fun teams I've ever played in this game. And compared to all my other teams right now, that one is just performing the best. I love how it feels. So, yeah. It's pretty easily Aglaia for right now. What is your least favorite boss in HSR? Historically, the deer. The deer is nowhere near as bad anymore, but historically, the deer. That deer can go, it can go straight to hell. I hate that deer so much. What is your take to the discussion about the 200 pull light cone being predatory for the Fate event? You can still get the light cone even if you don't do 200 pulls. You just get it for free. I don't really understand the issue, personally. Because let's look at it like this. They don't have to even give this for free. They did not have to give this for free. They already gave us the character, which is what most people want. So, they gave us the character, and now you have a chance to get the light cone for free. Which, by the way, if you were pulling for Fate or any of the other characters in that, part of the version, you were probably going to get close to 200 pulls either way. If you lost a 50-50, you were probably getting close to 200 pulls. I can understand that there is definitely, it's definitely not a great thing, but also I don't think it's that bad at all, considering it's optional and you can still get the light cone by just pulling on his banner. which is going to be around for an eternity. I don't know. I don't have a problem with that one compared to a lot of the other things they've done in the past. If you could steal one character from any other Hoyoverse game and stick them into HSR, who would you take? Okay, so I'm gonna do one for ZZZ, one for Genshin, and one for HI3. HI3, I desperately would love to see Kiana in this game, but I specifically want Finality Kiana. The way that character looks, the way that character moves, would be gorgeous in this game. It'd be like a weird mix of like Zila and then probably like Firefly to a degree. It would look incredible if Kiana was in this game in that form. I would love it so much. If I had to pick somebody not Kiana, then I really love Lantern from HI3. I think that'd be a good one. For Genshin, I would probably be between Wriothesley, because I just love Wriothesley. I think he's cool as fuck. Or maybe we have a lot of like I feel like we really lack a lot of like badass sword women in this game. Like we have Acheron, and that's mainly it. So I'm really tempted to say like Clarande, but also I would take Navia as well, because I think Navia is just like really funny. And also she has a very kind of unique style to her. I think that'd be really cool. Lastly, for ZZZ, none of them really fit into the spirit of this game, I feel like. It's probably closer than Genshin is, that's for sure. But I don't know, I like Zhu Yuan. I can't think of anybody who I would really want that would also like super fit into the game. So yeah, maybe like Zhu Yuan. I think she'd be cool. I like her. She can be an awesome 4-star in like some sort of military planet. I don't know, man. Okay. Do you prefer designs that fit their elemental color, or do you prefer designs that don't fit their elemental color? I prefer designs that fit the elemental color. It doesn't have to be super, super direct, but to this day, why is Link's Quantum instead of Ice? What makes your favorite characters, well, your favorite? I am a very, very selfish man. If you just have a sick design or you're very pretty, you will probably go up that list very easily. And then what really gets people over the edge is if they have a fire personality that I really love. So I've said it before many times, Gwenhyfin is one of my favorite characters in the game. She's not that good as a unit at all. But the way she looks, comboed with that voice and her energy, is just infectious. I love her so, so, so much. So that's really the defining factors, is that if you look pretty decent, and then you have a good personality that I like, you're in. You're high on the list. It's as simple as that. Also, voice acting. Another big thing for me, not as huge as the other two things, but if you have a great voice, which I think most of the HSR cast does, if not all of them, then that's more brownie points. What do you think about Finon's gameplay? That character is drugs incarnate. I don't think he's gonna be like one of the super long-lasting DPS. Actually, I don't know who I'm kidding. No, he's gonna be really good and they're gonna continue supporting him. That's a stupid statement. He's gonna be good for a while. I just love his effects. I think he is so, so cool. I think his playstyle is a little aggravating because you need to have very, very specific tuning to make sure that he works. Because he works best in a sustainless setup, and that can be difficult to kind of achieve for some people. Mainly me. I don't really understand it, but I don't have Finon, so I don't gotta worry about it. I think he's perfectly fine. I think he's really good, and yeah, I don't really have any qualms about his gameplay. It looks sick, so now if only I could get him. Alright, so our last section here is called I don't know what these are, but I like them, and the fact that Bubble is saying that is deeply concerning. Alright, so this one says, I have a couple questions. 1, if you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be? 2, what's your favorite food? And 3, what's your favorite sweet dish? And 4, what's your favorite cheat meal? P.S. I did not make this while I was hungry. Bullshit. So if I had to eat one meal for the rest of my life, I mean, I love chicken. I eat chicken, like, every single day, essentially. I love chicken. I think if I could pick one thing, probably shrimp. I absolutely love shrimp. I'm a big seafood guy. I really like shrimp. What's my favorite food? If we're talking about where I have to just get it from anywhere, then probably pizza. Like, pizza's really hard to fuck up. I think that's the most important thing, is that I hate when my food gets fucked up, so pizza's really hard to mess up. However, if I get to pick, like, or if I get to see that it's prepared perfectly, absolutely Puerto Rican rice and lechon. I love that meal so much when it's done right. And then you can have, it's called a fried fish fritter, or it's like a cod fritter. It's called the bacalito. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Like, to me, it almost tastes like a dessert. I love it so much. It's not sweet or anything, but man, it's so good. That would be like my favorite. That'd be like my favorite meal. What's your favorite sweet dish? I'm gonna be so for real, I actually don't have one. What's your favorite cheap meal? Okay, let me put you guys on. I've been having Wendy's slightly more often. Wendy's kind of hits. Like, Wendy's is pretty good. If I had to pick like a cheap fast food place that, like, cause it tastes better than so many other places, and it doesn't seem anywhere near as shit for you. Like, it's still not great for you because it's fast food, obviously. But man, Wendy's hits. And then if we're talking about like a simple cheap meal, the problem is that, like, I'm raised in a very Latino household. So I can just do chicken and rice for my entire life. I will gladly do chicken and white rice for the rest of my life. It's really not that expensive. You season the chicken with the same thing of adobo, and you put the salt on the rice. That's really it. It's not that expensive, and it's delicious, so I really have no complaints. What's your favorite character in all of media and why? I could do a whole explanation about this. I could spend a while, like, going through every single character I know, why I like them, like, what resonates with me. But I'm just gonna tell you this straight up. The channel PFP is Ike for a reason. I loved him in Smash Bros, and he's the CEO of No Racism. And he's an ally. Ike is one of the most based characters ever made. Alright, so this one is... I hate you, Bubble. When will you give Bubble full access to the channel? Thanks. When will Bubble make a return? There's a strong amount of you who don't even know who Bubble is, and that's hilarious. Alright, so, Bubble, I'm really sorry. The problem is that I barely have anybody on these videos anymore. That's why I try and just do things... That's why I just try and do things with you outside of my content, or I just tell you to come join stream. Because my content is not built for multiple people anymore. And by the way, dear viewer, that sucks. Like, that genuinely... I went from every video on this channel featuring other people to almost every video on this channel only being me. And while it's been really good for views and growth, it is unfortunate because I like having friends on a lot, but the content style I do just isn't built for it anymore. Also, if Bubble wants control of the channel, she's gonna have to kill me herself. Alright, so this is a pretty fun one. Which game, show, or media do you wish to forget so you can experience it for the first time again? I think once again I'm gonna actually do one of each, or just like at least one for game and show. I love so many of the things that I've played with like my whole heart, and my first experience with Persona 5 was the base Persona 5 and not Persona 5 Royal. Whenever I played Persona 5 Royal, I finished it in 9 days. And it was so worth the experience. I knew every line of dialogue in that game. And I was still hooked. I think if I could pick, it would probably be Persona 5 Royal for a game. However, the Xenoblade games are also some of my absolute favorites of all times, and I love Xenoblade 1, like, just from a nostalgia perspective as much as I love Persona 5 Royal. So, honestly, if I could play that again, like, if I could play both games in their definitive editions as my first attempts, that would be incredible. I would love that so much. In terms of shows, I don't know, I got to watch Star Wars The Clone Wars as it was coming out live, so I'm like, I love that so much. And then my favorite, like, probably my favorite anime of all time is Rising of the Shield Hero. That first season was incredible. I absolutely love everything about it. Yeah, you know what? I think if I had to pick a show, it probably would be Rising of the Shield Hero. That show was so much fun. I loved it so much. And it's stuck with me for a very long time just because I love the main character so much and just his experiences. And he was voiced by the person who was my favorite voice actor of all time, Billy Kometz, before he passed away. So just to be able to get that fresh experience once again would mean the world to me. And can we get a Chris Crash Out compilation? No. I mean, no, it did. I told you, I'm just doing this out of spite now. So this run's probably already chalked, but I know I'm gonna just see it through. So, Emmy, Emmy, in the nicest way possible. If you're gonna do this, mute yourself. This is not what I wanted.
Oh, fuck, why did I do that again?
Alright, back to where we fucking were. Stop hitting Robin. Ah, son of a bitch, it's because he was on the bottom of the fucking... Alright, so let's go back to this one. What inspired you to make videos in the first place? I was thinking about this for a while, truth be told. Is that I figured somebody was going to ask this. It's weird to say. I can't say it was just any normal reason. What kind of got me to do videos was almost a sense of jealousy in a way. And it wasn't jealousy of like people being successful, having money, having communities. It wasn't anything like that. It was more so the fact that I saw so many people like really enjoying themselves doing this, expressing creativity in this way that I just never felt capable of. And I was surrounded by so many wonderful people who were constantly doing content in some way, shape, or form. And it was amazing to see them do all this stuff. And at the same time, it was also just kind of upsetting because it's just like, I didn't know, like, I never knew why I couldn't do it. It just never clicked for me. It never worked for me. And I just never found a proper passion for it. I wanted to do it, but I never found consistent motivation to do it in any way, shape, or form. Over time, like, trying to help my friends with their content, it made me realize more and more that maybe I did have a bit more of that creativity in me than I thought. And I just wasn't finding the right ways to bring it out. I was trying so hard to kind of be someone else instead of focusing on finding something that worked for me. Because I had tried to do YouTube so many other times. I tried to do like Let's Plays, I tried to do like silly Smash videos like Alpharad or Little Z, and none of it ever worked, and then I would eventually just quit and give up. And it's just like, after trying to help my friends, after seeing them do this for so long, it kind of just clicked with me that they were all having fun with it and doing their own thing that was, whether it was simple or not, or whether it was something really complicated, it was something that they were just doing for themselves, and that they were doing because they enjoyed it. And it finally kind of clicked during that time that if I want to do this, I want to actually know that I'm enjoying it. And from there on, my worldview kind of changed on it. So, after that, I started actively preparing videos. I put a decent amount of effort into it, and I did it because I wanted to create something that I knew people would enjoy, that people could have fun with. And from there on, I just kept doing it, and doing it, and doing it, and just, I kept going over and over again. And even when things weren't really working out, things weren't really successful, I still did it because I had actually found a genuine joy in creating. I had found a joy in making things that others could enjoy. And that's kind of insane to me because that's not something that I really thought I would be capable of after all this time beforehand, where I just didn't believe I was a creative of any type. I had zero faith in my ability to express, to create, to make something at all. And to see where that's ultimately landed it's genuinely insane. It is genuinely insane. That's what inspired me, is just, I was upset because I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't do it. Jealousy ultimately turned to curiosity, to understanding, and to newfound motivation. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. This is probably a very, very long video, and I apologize for that. I'll try and cut it down however I can. But hey, we'll see. Either way, we have plenty of good videos coming out soon. So, I'll see you guys then. Also, don't get used to this. This is prep for the Cypher interview.